Hello?
Hello.
Hello? Welcome to today's webinar. Hello, is anybody here?
Yes, good afternoon, Gambo.
Yes, good afternoon. I'm with you.
Okay, good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good
Good
afternoon.
afternoon.
Welcome to today's webinar on interactive session of cashew and snail farming. Please, we'll
Okay.
start with introduction. We'll start with Mr. Adeni. Please, can't you introduce yourself as we go on and on?
Good afternoon. My name is Adini Shuremi, and I'm the MD of DUFMA, Integrated Architect Services.
Welcome, sir.
Okay.
Next, Mr. Adekule. Can't you kindly introduce yourself, please?
Um, my name is Adekunle Solomon, and I'm the assistant HOD for admin and data management at DUFMA.
Yeah, welcome, sir. Mr. Olawale, Infinity TV.
Good afternoon. My name is Olawuyi Olawale, a virtual assistant, finance, marketing, and sales department.
Welcome, sir. Kindly next, Mr. Adedeji. Welcome, sir.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Gambo. Of course, my name is Adedeji Shuremi, and I am the Assistant Head of Finance, Marketing and Sales of DUFMA. Thank you.
Yeah, welcome, sir. I'm also by name Gambo Kuliribai. I'm also virtual assistant, finance, sales, and marketing. Thank you, everyone. Without much wasting of time, please, I think we will go straight to the introduction. I can see also Mr. Said, also just Mr. Richard Solomon also just joining. Hello, Mr. Richard. Hello. Okay, Mr. Said, please.
Hello, good afternoon to everyone.
Good afternoon, sir. Kindly introduce yourself and where you're connecting from.
Thank you. You have said it. My name is Said Ibrahim. I'm joining from Zaria. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome, sir. Mr. Richard, are you with us? Mr. Richard, are you with us? Richard Solomon, please. Hello, Mr. Richard. I think Mr. Richard is having some network issues. I'm sure he'll join us soon again. Hello, Mr. Richard. Can you hear me? Okay, I think without much wasting of time, I think we'll just go to the next agenda. That's the opening remarks by Mr. Adekunle, please. You can take over. Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much, Mr. Gambo, for introducing everyone. Um, Welcome, everyone, and good afternoon. As I said earlier, my name is Adekunle Solomon, and I'm the Assistant of Admin and Data Management at DUFMA. Um, Most of you already know what we do here at DUFMA, but for the sake of those that are new to the idea of what DUFMA for the sake of those that are new to the idea of what DUFMA does, I'm going to give you a rundown summary of what DUFMA is all about. DUFMA was founded in 2018, and the focus of the organization is to digitalize agriculture. And we found the wealth of opportunity in economic trees. These economic trees is what I like to call money trees. These are trees. These are trees that have economic value from planting them. You get economic values from their seeds, from the fruits they produce, and so much more. And ever since 2018, we took time to research the cashew industry, the market, the viability of seed, how to enter the market. And once we understood the market, we started acquiring lands to plant cashew seeds so that we can harvest cashew seed and sell for profit. And since we've been acquiring land and planting the cashew, we also sell some of those lands to the public. And these lands are sold to people that are looking to invest into agriculture for long-term gains. They are looking to invest into agriculture for passive income, for they are looking to make their money work for them while they work and while they work for money to sort other things. And one of the things we pride ourselves is in the flexibility of our packages and our services. The payment flexibility for our packages and services. And ever since we've been selling land, we have not had issue of or money problem or any of our clients complaining about the land or the investment package. And we've been in this business for 5 years. And thank you for everyone that's joined. Stay tuned, stay connected, hold your pen and paper, jot some things down so that at the end of the day, even if you might not be investing with us, make sure you learn one or two things that is going to help you in future investment into agriculture. Mr. Adedeji Shoremi is going to give an introduction of cashew farming. Mr. Adeniji is also going to talk about the business of cashew farming and the integration with sales. You can learn one or two things that is going to help you make informed decision making if you want to go into the investment part of agriculture. So that's basically everything that you need to know about DUFMA and the things we do. Once again, my name is Adekunle Solomon. I'm the Assistant HOD for Admin and Data Management. You're welcome. I'll be handing over to Mr. Gambo Gantiri.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you for that wonderful presentation. I would like to call on Mr. Richard Solomon to please unmute your mic and introduce yourself. We also have Adewale Yusuf, and also I saw Grace Adebisi, and also Jami Adisa. Please, can you kindly unmute your mic and introduce yourself? Thank you. Okay, Mr. Jami, please, can you introduce yourself?
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Richard Solomon, and I'm pleased to be with you and have the opportunity to be in this webinar. I'm looking forward to benefit and also impact as well in the best way I can to get the possible outcome of this meeting. Thank you very much for giving us this opportunity as well to be part of this project.
Thank you,
By the
Mr.
grace of God,
Richard.
in everything we can.
Thank you, Mr. Richard. Mr. Jamiu Adisa, please, can you
Thank you.
unmute your mic, please? Introduce yourself. You're welcome on board. And go to the main business of the day. That's by our boss, Mr. Adeni Shoremi. Please, you can take over, sir.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Thank you very much, Gambo, for introducing me. I really appreciate that. My appreciation goes to everyone in this Google Meet meeting. You guys are the real MVP. So once more, you guys are welcome. So not to waste our time, my name is Adede Jishuremi, the current Assistant Head of Finance, Marketing and Sales of DUFMA. And I'd like to, my topic today is I want to discuss about cashew farming and snail farming, because before you can, profit from any agricultural venture, you need to understand the basic things particular to that investment or to that product or to that, tree. As such, right now, a lot of people right now knows us for cashew, plantain, snail, and bee. But today I'll be focusing on cashew farming and snail farming. And I would like to say this before I begin. It's a word that I usually use, I usually talk about. And it goes like, show me a cashew farmland owner, and I will show you a peaceful, successful farmer. Repeat. Show me a cashew and trust me, they are making tons of money from it. Low key, because most agricultural successful farmers are not the type of people that out there that they wear fancy clothes or they carry the finest cars around. They are down to earth kind of people, and that is why people out there don't really understand the profitability that lies in cashew farming. So that is why that's why I say that show me a cashew farmland owner, and I will show you a peaceful and successful farmer. Now let's talk about the brief history of cashew. But before I go, I'd like to know if everyone is following with me, and I'd like to just get a high or just any form of response from anyone. Hello.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate that. I don't want to be alone in this. So I want everyone to be carry along. As Mr. Solomon has said, if you're with your pen or a book, it's important that you have it beside you to jot some things about cashew and about snail farming as well. So I'm going to talk about the brief history of cashew. First, are you aware that cashew is also known as caju according to the Portuguese? Of course, there was a time where we started research on cashew investment at DUFMA, where a lot of us at the company had to make research. Then I found that cashew is another name that cashew is being called, and it's funny because it doesn't sound like the cashew that we know here in Nigeria, of course. And the botanical name for that is Anacardium occidentale. Well, I hope I pronounced that well, but that's the botanical name for cashew. Now, the tree is a multipurpose crop mainly grown for nut conversion, medicine, and as a means of income for cashew farm owners. Now, a lot of farm land owners have basically used this for just to enrich their pockets. But what most commonly uses cashew nut for is for medicine purpose and also for they consume the nuts and also for other medicinal purposes, which is very important. That is why these days it is not really about the fruits but about the nuts for cashew. And the plant is a native of tropical Central and South America. Of course, you should know that this plant originated from Brazil and it was brought down to Nigeria by Portuguese explorers sometimes in the 15th to 16th century thereabouts. And of course, this plant is not originally from Nigeria. It was introduced to Nigeria by this Portuguese explorer back in the 15th, 16th century. So if you want to know more about the history of cashew, I will please and encourage everyone to go online to check out about the history of cashew because it has a lot of it has a lot of history to it and it's fun reading about it. So, but right now, I would like to talk about the current worth of cashew nuts. Now, a lot of people out there are being about cashew, but uh, not everyone know how to actually profit from it because they'll just say that. For example, now I believe that each and everyone here has had their own experience with pricing the nut out there. For example, if you're coming from work, especially me that live in Lagos right now, by the roadside, if you just call anyone selling cashew nuts, we hear the price, you might want to shout, what happened? Why is this so expensive? So the nut is actually expensive and it's no joke. People don't even price the nut. You price the nut, those who are selling this will just look at you like you think you want to buy granite here or something. So that is how serious the nut is, and it's a big deal. And now, of course, it has been sold in kgs and tons. Those who farm this cashew nut, and the price of 1 kg of cashew nut in Nigeria ranges between 400 and to 50, 400,000 and 50. I'm sorry, 450,000 to 600,000. That's the price range of 1 kg, which is also 1 ton. Now it's fluctuates. You understand? So according to price according to the research made 2020 to 2021. Of course, there'll be a new price that will be released this year, but trust me, the price is not going down because right now it's becoming even more expensive because the nut itself, there's a lot of farmers in Nigeria farming cashew nuts, but not a lot of processing companies here in Nigeria. So most of our products, we export it to Vietnam, nearby countries that make use of this nut. They share it off and they resell it back to other countries that need it. They even resell it back to us in Nigeria. But thanks to Beggar, who just recently, announced that they'll be, opening their own, company here in Nigeria that will be actually, sharing off these nuts and they'll selling it easy at affordable prices, which will benefit the country at large. And the global cashew market is projected to register a compound annual growth of 4.6 during the forecast period of 2021 to 2026, further providing the cashew business, more affordability to grow. So what this signifies is that cashew business value, you understand, because the value that it gives to we human beings here on earth is unlimited, and trust me, we have not even scratched the we're just scratching the surface of the importance of cashew nuts, and that is why DUFMA have heavily invested or currently investing in cashew because we know that it is that crop or that economic tree that can provide you long-term consistent return on investment. And why do I say long-term consistent return on investment? Now, unlike other trees, cashew tree is stable, it's dogged, it gives you peace of mind. If you own a cashew farm, you don't need to worry about a lot of things that most farm owners worry about when it comes to fire, when it comes to water, when it comes to erosion. Those things does not really affect cashew. It's just that in the first period, at the first period where you'll be planting your cashew nut. Now that nursery stage where it takes about 2 weeks for nursery development, that is the delicate stage for cashew where you have to give proper attention to the cashew tree. And one thing that you want to hold very important while planting your cashew tree is the nut. Before you plant any nut, you have to test its viability. You have to make sure that nut is viable. And one of the way we do that at DUFMA, of course, is by putting this nut inside a bowl of water and to see if this nut floats or not. Now, if the nut should float, it means that that nut is not that viable. You understand? But if that nut should sink, that nut is ready to be planted. So we take precautions into planting this because we know that very soon we'll be exporting this cashew nut, outside Nigeria. And we don't. Hello. Okay. Welcome. Can you kindly mute while I finish my section, please? Thank you. So, as I was saying, at DUFMA, we hold this of great importance when it comes to our cashew nuts because we understand that we're going to export this product outside of the country, and we don't want to have an issue where our own nut is not viable enough for exportation. So that is a brief touch on cashew. Of course, Mr. Denny will be coming on board to give us more in-depth understanding of cashew investment and how you can profit from it for decades of years. Trust me, cashew investment is one of the most viable investments in the whole world. You can go online and research about it, no doubt about that. Then let's talk about snail. Of course, snail farming is lucrative, it's profitable. There's so many good things about snail farming in online. Yes, if you go online today right now, you see different rosy things people are saying about snail. Of course, snail is lovely, it's lucrative, the demand is there, it's always there actually, but it's not as rosy as it seems. You understand? You have to have this knowledge, experience, because this animal are delicate animal. If you don't have the experience on how to take care and manage this animal, you might think in the first few months that you're venturing into business, you might think that, I'm doing great, I'm doing fine, but it's just like poultry business. You might wake up one day, go to your visit your own farm and just see that you have lost about 100 snails to mortality, and that is very dangerous. So snail farming, of course, it's very lucrative, but you need the experience on how to manage it. You need someone to direct you, and that's why at DUFMA we have this knowledge, this experience on how to go about snail farming. Snail farming, of course, in Nigeria, the popular snail that we rear in Nigeria is Achatina magenta. Of course, that is the most popular one that we have here in West Africa, and the reason why is because and because of its size, it grows faster than Achantina, but not the biggest snail, because Achantina is the largest land snail in Africa, but it doesn't grow fast as the African magenta, which is popularly known here. If you go to market today in your area, the one that you see there that those market women sell is that one that is commonly known as Argentina magenta, and that is the one we will be helping those who want to have this kind of business with us at DUFMA. And these snails are delicate snails. They are not as dogged as the Argentina, the African land snail. You understand? They're delicate, of course, and they don't lay too many eggs. They lay in 6, 5, 4 per time. You understand? So they are lovely snails, and the best way to manage them is to give them attention, because you cannot do without giving the snails attention. The moment you stop giving them attention, that is the moment you're ready to lose your money, your capital. But if you can give them the right attention, the right kind of feed, you understand, the right environment with the appropriate temperature to it, of course, you'll definitely reap your investment on any snail investment that you venture into. And trust me, you can't lose with us if you're going into snail farm. Even if you're not going with us, that you have your own land that you want to turn into a snail farm. Of course, we have the expertise. You can call us on board. We'll help you inspect your land. We check if the environment is conducive. If it's not conducive, we'll make it conducive for the snails, and we'll help you set it up. Understand? Then we come periodically to inspect your snail farm and to make sure that at the end of the day, you get to make profit from this snail business. And this product that we have choose to discuss about at DUFMA, or we have choose to invest at DUFMA, they are products that they are all in the market. Cashew, snail, even plantain that we have, even bee that we're about to start heavily, they are all big markets. Understand? So if you have been thinking on how to start your snail business, thinking on how to start cashew farm, of course you can integrate these two products together, and That is why Mr. Daniel will be coming on board to, explain to each and everyone on how to, integrate these two farming business and actually make profit from it for a longer period of time. You understand? So he's going to come on board to teach us this. So I will encourage everyone, to pen down whatever he's going to be saying, because what he's going to be saying, of course, is going to be coming out from his own experience of, cashew farming and snail farming. So thank you, everyone. If you have any question, of course, the moderator of this Google Meet will actually, pen down everyone's question, of course, and during the AOB section. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you for listening to me.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Adeni Shuremi, and I will be taking us through the next phase, which is the main phase and the last part of this webinar. We don't want to keep you longer than you have to be online for, and then want to make sure that you have good content to maximize from. You have quality understanding about how the agricultural sector works, and particularly as it relates to cashew and snail. After all, the topic is interactive session on integrating cashew farming with a focus on snail integration. Now, the idea is you need to understand how cashew work first. Then you need to understand how snail can come into the picture. The overall goal of why anyone comes in to invest in agriculture, or that whoever had invested in the past or still want to invest currently right now, one of the major things that everyone is out for is how they can make money from the agricultural sector. And money from the agricultural sector requires technical skills, requires careful calculations, projections, and follow-through exercises. You see, in life, there's no jump in the process. If you jump the process in other sectors, you can't jump the process in the agricultural sector. There's no even room to jump the process in the agricultural sector. You have to follow all the due processes from the nursery, if it's the planting side, from the nursery down to the planting, that's transplanting to new field, taking care of them, nurturing them, guiding them from all the harsh conditions that comes with a tender plant. The harsh condition could look like hard weather, too much sun, pests and diseases. You want to guide them from it. Then they grow out, they become a tree, they become more resilient, they become more durable. They start giving you seed, then you harvest them, you spread them very well, you do post-harvest management practices that keeps your seed very quality inclined, and then you sell to the export markets, or you sell to processors who get to process this commodity and then sell them off to those that consume them. So everything is processes, and there's time in between these actions. It's not just today, tomorrow. No, there's time. The nursery for cashew takes about 2 months. The transplanting takes about 2 to 3 weeks. The grow out of cashew into fruiting season takes 3 years to 4 years, and then after fruiting, it takes about 3 years again to get commercial full harvest. Of course, commercial harvest starts at the 5th year, but the major profit you'll be experiencing will be happening in the 6th, 7th, 8th years. And by the 9th year, you're already making, in dollar terms, you're going to be making as much as $3,000 at today's, $2,000 to $3,000 at today's value, or approximately between 700,000 naira and #1,000,000 naira thereabout. Now, this is because currently a ton of cashew is being sold at 450 to 500,000. You can easily check that price yourself at AFEX Nigeria. AFEX Nigeria. You can browse down Google, you'll see their website. You can check about how this pricing works. These people are commodity traders, and they trade primarily agricultural commodities, from maize down to sesame, to cocoa, to cashew, and many others. So everything in life goes through a process. You can't jump it. And that is why this kind of sensitization is very important, because a lot of people come into different parts of the agricultural sector with the mind to make revenue or invest and then make money. But then a lot of people don't understand how the processes work. And except to understand how the processes work, you're going to have issues. So thank you, Deji, so much for breaking down cashew farming and snail farming and the benefits that lies within. I thank you, every member of the team that been able to bring us down to this place. Now, going forward now, one of the things I want to state is how did we get to the cashew system, right? We became a member of this cashew oil value chain speak on since 2018. 2019, we got a partnership offer to digitize all the cashew farmers in Ogumosho, Oyo State, and the Kina Kogi State. Of course, during this period, we were able to aggregate over 2,000 cashew farmers' data. But then, because of the enormous tax that we could not even cover those two locations, not talk of going beyond there. So, and during this period, we're able to understand that before there's production, right? Before there's harvest, rather, there's a production. Before there's a production, there's a nursery. This place, we start understanding how it works and how these people, the locals, don't have a clear-cut way to handle it. Everybody wants the money that cashew can give, but nobody's going into the production of that cashew. And because of that, we started planning, and the team, we came together, we started planning, how do we solve this? The first thing was ensure that you have access to a lot of land, because a lot of people don't know how to even get land, not talk of where to plant on. And a lot of people don't even know the difference of a land that is viable for cashew or a land that can't plant cashew. They just get any land. So our duty was, okay, let's get a lot of land that we can ascertain that is good for cashew. After that, make it affordable to people to have access to it. Then after then, help them do the nursery. From the nursery, help them, teach them how to go about transplanting it and nurturing the plant up until harvest. And that is what we've been doing so far. That's why today, it doesn't matter whether or not you're under our program or you have your own private farm. The idea is if you can pick what I'm saying and use it judiciously or follow through with it religiously, you realize that you can also start something. I won't lie to you. You can't learn everything in one stage. And that is why we are always available for you to communicate with us all the time along the line. If you're doing privately yourself, always reach out to us on any roadblocks you're having as regarding setting up. Of course, we are always there to buy your products. If you want us to sign in advance, we will sign in advance to buy your product. It is very important at prevailing market price. So it doesn't mean that we're not going to exploit you when buying your product. We'll buy it at prevailing market price per time. But outside that as well, we also want to ensure that your plants grow out to become a good product. So now, what are the processes that are locked up? Now that you know how we became so ingrained into the cashew value chain. Now, what are the processes that involve in being able to start your own cashew farm? You know, I stated something about nursery earlier. You need nursery, you have to raise them. Of course, you could do them directly and plant them directly into the ground, but then you're exposing them to the harsh weather, harsh condition, knowing fully well that these products are still tender and young. So you want to put them in a nursery first. So you're able to study their life processes. You're able to give them the best condition, the best soil, the best manure, the best watering ability that you have. You want to put them under shade to reduce the sun intensity. And all these things, you're doing it under a closed system as much as possible. And this will last for 2 months. Cashew can stay beyond 2 months in nursery. Else, it's going to start bending. And you don't want the root to start bending. So after that 2 months, take it to the field. Your plants, depending on the kind of cashew farm you're looking at, it could be high density cashew farm or low density cashew farm. Difference in both of them is the spacing in which you plant at. Now, if you want high density cashew farm, that's 4 by 4 or 5 by 5 meters apart. Now, this is horizontally and vertically, which could be furrows and burrows. Now, if you want average density, that's low density cashew farming, which is very safe for intercropping and other things. That is 9 by 9, 8 by 8, 8 by 5, 9 by 5. These are all low density cashew farming spacing methodologies. Now, at different one you pick, you plant different numbers of cashew per ground. And this is when you're transplanting from the nursery down to the plant. Now, you want to make sure that you mulch the lower part of your cashew to prevent it being affected by weather shocks, right? When you're planting your cashew and you don't mulch what is underneath it, that's the roots, you expose your cashew plant to sun intensity, which can kill them, even despite they went under good conditions in the nursery stage. You want to make sure that this is easy. So what you do is you take dead plant cells or dead plant leaf that are falling from the tree, or you take maize or any other agricultural product that actually finished its span and is drying up, use it to mulch the lower bottom of the cashew stem. This way you prevent water. If there's no rain a lot, try to use water as often as you can. If you have irrigation in place, put irrigation. If you have irrigation, set up a manual system for water to get to your plants. After you're done with that, then you start watching it. You guide it. You don't need to do a lot of work. You weed it occasionally, maybe once in 2-3 months. You weed it, depending on how fast the weed grows. After you're done weeding it, you apply fertilizer depending on the kind of soil you're using. Now, when I say fertilizer, I'm not talking about chemical. I'm talking about organic, which is manure. You try and apply manure, but be careful how you apply it, because if it's too close to the stem, it could burn it out, particularly if the manure is not yet dried. So it could burn it off. So you have to be very careful how you add this thing to not ensure that you put your plant at risk. After you plant, you nurture it year 1, year 2, year 3. During this year 2 and year 3, you want to prune your plant. If you're comfortable with what pruning, you could give me a definition. They let me know that we are working together. But pruning typically involves you taking down some side of the plant, taking down some stem, taking down some leaf. What this does is it forces the plant to expand in branches. The more branches this plant become expanded into, the more fruit and harvest you see. So in the 3rd, 4th year, we prune heavily to ensure that these plants are able to branch out as much as possible. So in the 5th year, there's a lot of commercial production of these cashews. So once the harvest starts in the 3rd, 4th year, you're not going to really harvest all year. If your farm is under our management, you won't be harvesting your cashew in the 3rd year. We'll let it fall, because it's very important. We're not there for the 3rd year, because the profit from 3rd year is not significant, not to even talk about focusing on it. So the 3rd and 4th year, we allow the fruit to come out, fall. That is the idea. And so allow it to, tampering with the leaf in 3rd and 4th year is going to affect the 5th year harvest. So we're going to let them fall naturally. Of course, we'll pick up the seed that falls down and let you know what the quarters are. But then we'll allow them naturally fall down. Then in the 5th year, because of good mining practices, there will be a good quantitative harvest to get there. And once we harvest, we sell to our partners. Now, in Nigeria right now, partners are increasing. A lot of people are seeing the value in cashew farming. Production are increasing. I can tell you more learned groups are going into cashew farming. Of course, we've got some new competitors like the Jadek Farm and the rest of them coming up. And these guys are great guys doing their best to also populate the environment. We also are on that layer, and we're doing our best to ensure that we expand the cashew farm within. And that is one of the beauty about what we do. So basically, when you have more production, there's more harvest to come in. And for that harvest goes to processing. Julius Berger, for example, started their factory in Ekwe for cashew processing. And more of this is what we expect in Nigeria, because that will make sure that this product has wider coverage. So outside this, once you've harvested, you take them for processing or you sell them directly as raw nuts. And then after that, you do sales and marketing. After then, for those that want to get their money before processing, then this is where you get your money from. So that's that as regarding the cashew processes. And now that you understand our processes, we have proposal farming guide that could help you go through it. We also have podcasts where you can listen about how cashew works generally. The more you're informed, the more you take more informed decisions. These are just not rocket science. They are step-by-step processes, and you achieve your results. Now, outside that, production of cashew is not tedious at all. But then you can always add multiple things over it. One of the things you can add to your cashew farm to ensure that you don't have to wait for 4 or 5 years to start earning revenue. One of them is snail. And why is snail particular? You can use anything, right? I'm not saying that it has to be snail. For example, last month we had a webinar on bee farming, apiculture. Apiculture is the farming of bee. Now, you can always go online. I will be putting the link for our bee farming webinar last month on this the chat. Kindly stay tuned as I.
Well, I have a question.
You have a question? Can you type your question in the in chat messages, and I'm going to answer them when I'm done, if that's okay by you?
Yeah, I got it.
All right, thank you. So basically, we had a bee farming webinar last month where we were able to talk about how bee help increase your production. I'm going to send the link to the in-chat messages so you can pick that up at your spare time. It's about an hour. Our webinar is usually around an hour 15-minute time. So you can pick that up and understand how bee integration helps. Today is all about a focus on snail integration. Okay, so I think Solomon, I think me Quish, whatever, I think he's in the wrong meeting. Kindly help me take him out. Thank you.
Oh, no. My bad. Sorry. I need to stand up.
So basically, the guy just disconnected my processes. So snail farming is quite easy to integrate to your cashew because one, they take their annual project as well, except you're doing commercial snail farming, which in turn becomes 6 to 7 months. Mr. Ideji earlier stated that Nigeria will majorly focus on Achantina marginata, not Achantina. There are different breeds of snail. There are European breeds. There are different breeds on different angles, but in Nigeria right now, the commercial production is Achantina marginata. And if you now want to do Achantina, it may take 2-3 months extra, but you're going to achieve the same result with it. The difference in all of them is the one, how fast they grow, the number of eggs they lay. Achantina lays a lot of eggs. In a year, Achantina can lay as much as 100 to 300 eggs in a year, while marginata lays less than 50 eggs in a year. So these are the differences, and they grow out different. Like Achantina grows fast, marginata grows faster than Achantina. So these are all the things you want to pick. But what is the beauty about this? A snail currently at the market value is between 250 and 400, right, per one. And if you can integrate and build them, build them out as much as possible, you realize that you can start earning while you're waiting for your cashew to come alive. And we have quite an extensive network of farms with snail already. So you don't have issues with market. Everything we tell you to come and do, we are your best market. And you don't have to look for market, right? Anything we tell you to do, we are your best market. If we ask you to go into snail, we're your market. If we ask you to go into cashew, we're your market. If we ask you to go into plantain, we're your market. If we ask you to go into bee, we are your market. You don't have to look for any of those things. Anything we don't ask you to go into, you go into it. It could be viable, but won't be your market because we're not going to ask you to do something we can't buy. And it's very, very important that we put you on the path where you won't have to stress. The production itself carries a lot of labor. It's labor intensive. So you don't want to now have to go through all that processes and then still look for your market yourself. That's why for our clients, we're the one that actually go through all this place for them. And then we keep them as informed as possible. We equally help them to come around to the farm to see one or two progress that are happening. There's no rocket science. We are doing it one step at a time, and we're as honest as possible within the process. So you can either go for commercial snail integration to your farm, or you could go for a full-fledged production where you do your archery, because snail has its process as well. There's the archery process in the snail. There's the grow out phase where you grow them into table size. Table size for snail is around 350 grams to 500 grams. It depends on 350 grams, 500 grams, depending on the kind of table size you're out for. So basically, after you grow out, then you process. It depends on where your market is. If we are buying it from you, our market typically is in the UK. So we usually have to process this commodity before we have to take them there. So usually we take them through smoking and cleaning, a lot of cleaning before they go, because we don't want them to be stocked at the border control. We don't want that to happen to them. And because of that, we are very, very careful and ensure that we are not being poorly conducted, not to have our products rejected for us. So now these are the ways you can get it. Right now, typically on a rough sketch, if you have 1,000 snail in your commercial production, you buy them at baby size. That's commercial. Commercial doesn't involve you laying eggs. You don't want to lay eggs. You just want to get them and grow them out. That's commercial snail production. You buy them at baby, you feed them to their table size, you sell them off. That's commercial. And within 6 to 8 months, you're done with that. If you now want them to lay egg, you're looking at a year program instead. So typically, you get 1,000 baby at, let's say, 20 naira to 15 naira. Benchmark 15 naira per one. You're looking at close to like 50,000 naira worth of baby snails. And then by the time you grow them out to full-fledged baby snails, you're selling them at 250 per one. Then you realize that you're having 50,000 naira. The amount in between to spend to keep them is not that much, because if you already have a cashew project already, some basic things are accounted for, things like your workers, water access, land access, place to build, all things are accounted for under cashew already, so you're not spending additionally on them. You're only going to just build your orchards, stock your snails, and then feed them. till production, so you make more revenue. And within 3 to 4 years, you've actually covered all the waiting for cashew. Now, I have just focused on the integration and the business side of it. I've also helped you understand the processes from the beginning of each of these activities, the snail and the cashew, down to where harvest happens. Of course, we are always willing to discuss more expansive projects with you. But on a summary, on a nutshell, cashew is quite viable. But then there's still a lot of potentials to explore in the cashew value chain. Currently, right now, the seed is where we focus on. We focus on the nuts a lot. We buy the nuts, we process them, and we eat them. But then the cashew apple, which is the fruity part, the juicy part of it, is still left unaccounted for. And it's actually very viable because it's actually one of the best oxidative drink you can have on the market. However, if you're not careful, it's going to ferment, right? Which is why it can also be used for spirit making. That's wine, spirit wine, and all of that, right? Now, this happens in Europe. There's all this drink and stuff. Africa, we are lagging behind. But then I don't blame Africa because these things are not done in a day. Europe didn't achieve these goals in a day. Definitely, we plan to try modular system, build all of these processes gradually. Partner with those we need to partner when we need to partner with them. And when we have enough to branch out ourselves, we do that perfectly on our own. And this is a summary you need to understand about integrating cashew farm with snail and how it can benefit you on the long run. Of course, we'll be doing all that content. There will be other webinars that's going to focus strictly on the production of this cashew. And then if you're in that webinar, then of course, you want to have everything about that in your years, because it will teach you how to go through replanting, how to go about nursery. Of course, on this in-chat message, I've added a link there that takes you to how we verify, how we test the viability of cashew seed before we plant it. Now, of course, what we are saying is not theory, right? Go to our internet pages, go to our Instagram, go to our YouTube. You'll see us practicalizing what we are saying. So we are not just telling you this because we read it somewhere. I studied agriculture in the university. 70% of my management team equally studied agriculture in the university. So we are not just telling you things, we are practicalizing them and telling you as well. So it's not as if we are telling you what is not working. Following our model, it's easy access. You just start processing, you start planting, and then you're going. Carry us in the loop. We have a framework with our farm. We are willing to share that with you if you have your own farm, so you can replicate it on your farm. And if it's our framework, you would not have to think about things like my manager is doing A, my manager is doing B. It's not right. They're not recording, they're not sending adequate report to me part-time. These things would not be a problem for you because our framework already have them accounted for. We are willing to share it for you free of charge. There's no charge to it. All you just need to do is reach out to us, chat us, keep a good working relationship with us, and we are willing to give all of this for free. Of course, the only thing we'll employ you is when your harvest is coming out, consider us in buying it. But right, as long as we are buying to you at standard market price, we are not cheating you. So that is the great side to it. With that said, this is where I cap the summary of the program, Cashew Farming Integrated Cashew Farming with a focus on snail integration. Of course, 2 months ago, we had a webinar on farmland insurance. Our land can be insured, and I had a webinar about it. You could also check that, as I will be posting the link here as soon as possible. Some questions are already in the in-chat messages, but I'll allow Solomon to come online right now and do the Q&A session while I post the links I promised to post to you guys. That of last month's bee farming and that of the farmland insurance as well. Thank you. Solomon, over to you.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Denny, for that wonderful and powerful session. I'll be taking questions, and if anybody has a question, please unmute your mic and ask them. I'll be taking them and answering them as much as I can. Does anybody have questions? Hello? Mr. Adini spoke on a lot of things, and I want to believe that we have 1 or 2 questions about what he said. So if you have a question as regarding anything that he might have mentioned during his session, please unmute your mic and ask the question so that I can answer them.
Okay. Excuse me, sir. If you look at the
Hello?
in-chat message, hello, can you hear me, sir?
I can hear you, Mr. Gambo.
Okay, sir. If you look at in the message, the inside message, there's a message on how to acquire a land. I think you need to throw more light on that, the process, how
Okay.
this is done, and everything, sir.
Mr. Ikena Okafor says that I
Okafor.
need a more lecture on acquiring farmland, honestly. Okay. We currently sell farmlands. We sell farmlands to our clients to help them farm on the land for cashew, plantain, and you can intercrop these things. You can mix these things with snail and bee farming. We currently sell land, and for an acre of our land, I think we sell an acre of our land for 400,000 naira, and that's for farmlands. So we sell farmlands. You can get it with us, and you can also get it somewhere else. Or if you currently have a farmland that you inherit or you bought beforehand and you want to turn into a farm, we can help you do that, as long as you can just tell us the location of the farmland, and then we'll come to the farmland, inspect it, and do some analysis on what you're going to need, how much it's going to cost you, and we're going to give you the structures and system that we use on our own farmlands for you to use on your farmland as well. And once we give you all this structure and processes and systems, and you plant on the farmland, we are going to offer to be your market as well, because our goal is to buy from you, which is what we offer our clients as well. Once we sell farmlands to them, and then they buy farmlands from us, they plant on the farmland. Once it's time for harvesting, we'll buy the product from them at market price. And it's not like we're cheating anyone here. Like Mr. Nee said, you can go to Afnex Nigeria to check the current market price for every farm commodity. So you can always check with respect to the price that we are stating to buy from you. And that's that on the farmland.
One question, sir.
Okay, what's the question?
I think my network went bad while we were speaking a few seconds ago. You said someone that has farmland you can also offer your services to someone that has farmland, right?
Yes, we offer our services to someone that has farmland. We come to your land, we inspect the land, and we are going. And depending on what you want to do, if it's in the scope of the offers that we have, let's say currently we only deal with cashew and plantain. So if you intend to turn your farmland into a cashew or a plantain farmland, you come to your farmland. We're going to inspect it. We're going to do some survey. We'll do analysis. Then we're going to give you a rundown of how much it's going to cost you to help you set up your farm. The irrigation, the plowing, the nursery, everything. We're going to give you the cost and the value of all that. And after we've given you all the cost and you decide to continue with us, we'll also give you a system, the system that we use on our farm, the system of planting that we use on our own farm to plant on your farm, so that you can get the best results from the planting process. After which, if the time for harvest comes, we are going to offer to buy your farm products instead of you to go and look for the market to sell your product. We are going to offer to buy the farm product. Okay. Do you have any questions? Did I answer your question, Mr. Adiwali? Hello?
Yes. It's clear now. Thank you.
All right. Does anybody else have question? I saw that Mr. Ikena Okafor said the team never clear me. That's why I never buy him. I don't understand what you mean by that. Please, can you explain what you mean by that, sir? Mr. Ikena.
Solomon, let me address that.
All right.
Is Mr. Ikena still with us? Is Mr. Ikena still with us? If you're still with us, can you unmute and just say hi?
I am.
All right, beautiful. So basically, we have a system where we can either sell you the land or you have the land yourself. If we're selling you the land, we have land in two locations. Currently, right now, one of them is finished. That's the one in Osun State. We don't have land in Osun anymore. Probably when you came around, we told you had land in Osun. It's finished. It's fully sold. In Ogun State is the only place we have land now. It's almost fully sold as well. And that's why we actually encourage people that has land to come up as well, because we had a projection and our land is selling out fast. And that's why we're helping those that have their land to also develop themselves. If you're buying our land comes with certain documentations, right? We have professional survey that we'll give to you. This professional survey helps you do your own registered survey and get your C of O. Our lands are free from government encumbrances because we've checked them and we have a proof for those statements. We have a letter from the Bureau of Lands to confirm that our land is free from government encumbrances and government acquisitions. So our lands are in a place where it is safe. Now, after we sell the land, we give you a deed of assignment or transfer the ownership of a part of the land to you. Of course, we give you a proof of payment receipts. We give you all of these documents that position your mind for peace. We take you on the land for tour after your purchase. We take you to the farm to show you the land, and we allow you to interact with the locals as you see fit, so that you can ask questions. You see, fraud in Nigeria had festered because of a lot of clients not being able to follow up on projects like this. It's understandable at the point of purchase, you may not have adequate time to do a lot of research, but our model allows you to pay instrumentally. And we believe that before you finish your instrumental payments, you can, of course, would have taken you there for a tour. That's one. Two, when you go there for a tour, you can always go to the palace in the town there and ask questions as regarding the viability of the land. If the land has issues, the first person that will tell you about it is the king of the place. And these are how the land processes work. But if you want to get C of O, we'll also work alongside with you to ensure that you have your C of O. We'll tell you the process you need to do. We'll tell you where to go to under the state government to ensure that you have that. Now, after your farm commences, right, we have insurance package that you can subscribe to. We actually partner with NAIC. So if you want an insurance, we bring NAIC on board to inspect your farm. Then we pay the premium based on your agreement. And then your farmland is insured. If you want that as well, it is not enforced on everybody. It is more of an optional system. Now, the planting in itself commences once you start making payment for your development. Let's say you pay for the land. The land is 20 naira, right? You've paid for the land. Now, after paying for the land, it is very, very important that you know that we'll start developing your land, but we will first want to see a commitment level from you. So if we tell you that the development to develop the land into a full farm requires 10 naira or 20 naira, what we typically do is we expect you to pay around 10 to 15 naira first. That way we know that your commitment is certain. Then we start developing the land even before you complete your 20 naira payments. And then by the time you come around, you can easily point to your land. Of course, over time, of course, you're going to see your own mainland. As by the time your farm commences, you will know which part of the estate your own farm is located. And that is basically the cashew, the bee and the snail integration. Those ones are addendums to you. You can choose to integrate them with your farm. You can choose to leave your farm without them. It is not a big deal. Did this answer any part of your question, Mr. Ikenakafo? Is this clear? Is the process of how we do this process, is it clear to you now? If you have any other question, I would like to take them to ensure that you have adequate answers. Meanwhile, if there's any other person that has questions, kindly ask, and I would do well to answer them.
So that's a question.
All right. Yes, I can see. Richard Solomon asked, is such farming condition in place where we have an average temperature of 33 to 40 degrees centigrade? Yes. Is it for cashew farming or the snail integration? Richard, kindly specify. If it's the cashew, of course, it would work successfully. There's no issues with that. It will work. Provided that you can actually either use manual or automated irrigation, to buffer through periods of dryness and hotness. And if you don't have either manual irrigation in place or automated irrigation in place, ensure you plant your cashew during rainy season. That way you get to survive. And make sure that right now rain has started in some part of Nigeria. By give it like June, July, every part of Nigeria will be under rain season. So ensure that you actually have your products in the ground. If it's snail integration, it doesn't matter where you are in Nigeria, as long as you can provide adequate shade per se. So unlike cashew that has to be open to air, snail doesn't have to be open to air. You can put a shade system that ensures that it reduces the temperature of the environment. For example, once there's a shade there, underneath that shade, as long as you don't use zinc, right? You could use something like leaf, thatch roof to have your shade installed. Once this is there, it reduces temperature underneath the shade. Of course, you need water a lot to ensure that you wet their orchards as often as possible to keep the place moist. The more moist it is, the more productive the snails are. So it can work. It depends on management practices, and it shouldn't be a big deal. I hope I answered your question, Richard. Mr. Monday Philemon asked, how much volume of cashew at least would you be willing to come up not to buy? We don't buy cashew from those that are already producing. We don't have that policy yet. Our policy is for those that were encouraged to go into the farming. We sign in advance with them and buy their cashew. And because most of them, their cashew is going to be growing steadily, we buy it steadily. But in terms of the current cashew that we can buy right now, we already have people that we get those cashews from. And we don't think we'll be needing extra. But for those that are starting their cashew farm, we are willing to sign a deal with them that allows us to buy their products, because that way we would have planned their harvest alongside the coming year. We don't buy impromptu, we buy based on plan. I hope that answered your question, Mr. Monday Philemon. Oh, yes, Richard said I answered the question. Thank you, Richard, for confirming that. All right, thank you, Mr. Philemon Monday as well. Mr. Iken Okafo, I don't know if the question has been properly answered or there are other things you would still like to know as regarding what I've just said.
I'm okay with the answer.
I didn't get that. You're on to me or you've heard what I said?
I said I'm okay with the answers for now.
Okay, beautiful. You're okay with the answers for now. I'm glad I'm able to provide adequate answers to you. I would check in if it seems you're one of our prospective clients. I'll check on our data set and see who your correspondent is, and I will try and ensure that your correspondent reach out to you for any further questions you may have outside this webinar. Thank you.
Welcome.
I think with that, if there are no more questions, I think I'll hand over to Gambo and Adekunle Solomon to end the meeting. You can always get our meeting after now. You can always share them with your colleagues, your friend, because they'll be uploaded on YouTube before nighttime, and you can have the link to share with your contacts, enlighten them about how cashew works. It is in publicizing these processes that allow people to come on board it and participate in the process. So if you want to share that, of course, go to our YouTube link this evening, tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon, and pick up the link for this webinar. And I'm certain that someone out there is going to make use of it. Also cordially take time to follow us on our social media handles, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and equally follow us on Instagram and like us on Facebook. It's very, very pertinent, as you can get all of these informations in bits and pieces from these places. And eventually you become as much knowledgeable about this product as possible. And thank you for everyone that come in so far. Adekunle, up to you and Gambo. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for that wonderful presentation. Also, thank you for all that asked their questions. I hope our answers are very clear to them. I think I will hand over to Mr. Adekunle for the closing remark. And thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Gambo. I think in the absence of no other questions, that will be the end of the webinar. Thank you all for coming. We really do appreciate. Goodbye.
Thank you, sir. Goodbye.